Hello and welcome back to another student project review by our group SKDB1, and in this occasion we would like to give you a little bit something about our student project regarding the topic of the challenges of the doctor-patient fiduciary relationship and the ethical dilemma of informed consent in dealing with COVID-19 patients. So as usual, to give better learning experience and make it easier for us to explain to you guys, we decided to divide this presentation into 7 main outlines. The first one will be the fiduciary relationship as a whole. Second one, we will discuss about the informed consent. The third one, we will discuss about the challenges of fiduciary relationship. The fourth one, we will discuss about the ethical dilemmas of informed consent in general. And the fifth one, we will discuss about the relations on all of these key topics. And finally, we will discuss about all the different challenges and the solutions of state challenges. Right after this, Devi will give us more insight about why we choose this topic, our main goal, and the purpose of this review.
Hello, my name is Nikita Devi Widhi Prastiti with last 3-digit number 028. I would like to explain the background information for this project. COVID-19 has affected global health aspects a lot. Public health has been severely impacted by the sudden change that caused lack of available treatments and facilities. Besides that, healthcare providers are also urgently needed to treat a massive number of patients, so health workers are needed to take care of themselves to prevent getting COVID-19. Therefore, there are main changes from the health workers to give service. They are required to wear personal protective equipment, keep a safe distance of at least 1 meter from another person, and limit the time for patients to consult. These changes most likely will affect the effectiveness of healthcare workers and patients' interaction. With this change, patients might not understand why there are some adjustments in treatment. For example, patients might not consent to have their data saved and tracked as COVID-19 patient. Patients get lesser time than usual to communicate and think to give their resolutions. Patients might not be able to take consent forms home and discuss them with family, which is also the difficulty in getting a patient's informed consent. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lanang Librawan dan Malaksana. The 3 last digit of name is 029. I want to explain about the problem formulations, objectives, and benefits of this student project. Problem formulation. Based on the background information before, it can be concluded that the problem is, the first is what is a fiduciary relationship, the second, what is the dilemma of ethics in informed consent, the third, what are the challenges of the fiduciary relationship and the informed consent ethical dilemma in general. The fourth, what are the solutions for the challenges of the fiduciary relationship and the informed consent ethical dilemma in dealing with COVID-19 patient. Objective. Objective of this research consists of general objective. There are the first, to give information about the fiduciary relationship. The second, to give information about the dilemma of ethics in informed consent. The third, to describe the challenges of the fiduciary relationship and the informed consent ethical dilemma in general. And specific objective, there are, the first is to offer the solution for the challenges of the fiduciary relationship and the informed consent ethical dilemma in dealing with COVID-19 patients. So, what is the benefit of this research? The benefit of writing this literature review is to show and learn about the fiduciary relationship concepts and dilemmas of ethics in informed consent related in dealing with COVID-19 patients from various credible sources. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Putu Krishna Arsawardani Putri with last 3-digit number 027, and I would like to explain about fiduciary relationship. Fiduciary relationship is a relationship based on trust. Doctor and patient relationship is considered fiduciary because patients place their trust completely on their doctor to act on their behalf with respect to their health. This type of relationship occurs due to inequality in medical knowledge and power between doctors and patients that puts patient in a vulnerable position. Once established, there are certain duties or obligations that doctors must fulfill in doctor-patient relationship. One of the most important duty is to give adequate information about the patient's condition, disease, treatment, risk, adverse effect, and other things that correlates to the patient's health. In fiduciary relationship, doctors have an authority to manage patient's disease and treatment. Due to this unequal position, to avoid abuse of power, there is a legal and ethical expectation that doctors must be loyal to patients' interest, keep patients informed with information regarding their health, Avoid acting in self-interest, act in good faith and with utmost care in patient's best interest.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Karin and my last digit number is 016 and I will explain about informed consent. In research involving humans as research subjects, informed consent is required by ethics and legislation. The purpose of informed consent is to provide patients with clear information regarding aspects of the experiment in easy-to-understand language so that participants can make a voluntary decision about whether or not to participate in particular research study or experiment. Not only is it required for clinical trials, but informed consent is an important prerequisite for all types of research involving humans, such as diagnosis, therapy, interventions, social study, etc. There are several requirements in obtaining informed consent. The first one, the investigator or the person appointed by the investigator must obtain informed consent. The second one, informed consent must be obtained before the procedure was performed. The third, subjects should not be forced to sign the consent. The fourth, the subject is legally acceptable if the person signs with a date. The signature indicates the content of the information has been adequately discussed and the subject is legally acceptable. That's all from me, thank you.
For the opportunity, my name is Geg Mas Anantalakshmi with the last digit of name number 001. Today, I will explain the challenge of fiduciary relationship. Doctor-patient relationship have long been viewed as fiduciary, based on the patient's faith in their doctor. Its misuse has caused many issues and misconceptions. Further research into the role of the fiduciary relationship in achieving fiduciary goals is required. In the context of doctor-patient relationship, the term fiduciary duties refer to: first, duty of care. Doctors is legally obligated to be educated and knowledgeable on regulation and issues. Second, duty of competence. Doctors are required to receive mandated education for their role, to maintain their licensing, and to keep up to date with the newest treatment. Third, duty of good faith and fair dealing. Doctors are forbidden to include any attempt to defraud the patient. Fourth, duty of loyalty. Doctors must prioritize the patient need over their own. And fifth, avoid conflict of interest. The next topic will be explained by my colleague.
Thank you for your time. My name is Nyoman, Gede, Sujana with last three hits of number 011. Next slide, please. Thank you. Ethical dilemma is a situations when decision-making problems occur. When people are discussing about ethics, they are no longer talking about right or wrong. It's more likely about good or bad, depends on how people see the problem, and should represent the best of the best. Judgments are made by those who make the decisions, who need the decisions, and people who are affected. For example, the jail-fast witness patient is running out of blood and needing a blood transfusions. However, for many years, they rejected the transfusions due to the religious beliefs. Doctors are faced with a serious ethical dilemma regarding informed consent. If a doctor gives the transfusions without the patient consent, the doctor violates the right of autonomy and informed consent and religious ethics. If the transfusion is not given, at worst, the patient could die. Therefore, the thing that doctors need to do is to consult and educate regarding the risks that could occur. This is because essentially the most rational informed consent is when there is doctor-patient collaborations in making decisions. That's all from me, thank you.
Hello, my name is Putu with three last digit number R033. I will explain about the relations of the fiduciary relationships and ethical informed consent dilemmas. Medical informed choice is required for a clinician to satisfy their fiduciary obligation when recommending medical and surgical measures, as well as for a patient to consent or to reject the specified therapeutic options. As part of a shared decision-making approach, informed choice enables a wide range of ideas to be exchanged between the patient and the doctor. This exchange of ideas leads to a decision-making partnership and shared accountability for medical and surgical outcomes. The obligation that is often referred to in fiduciary terms regarding the existence of informed consent is how a doctor must provide clear and sufficient information to patients to obtain approval for medication action to be taken. Informed consent is critical for establishing confidence in the doctor-patient relationships. The structure of fiduciary relationships is where the right of informed consent is applied into. It is when one party has an inherent obligation to disclose relevant information because that one party has more authority than the other, which shows the existence of a differential power. That's all from me. The next part will be explained by my friend.
My name is Khadra and Kamila with the last three digits number 009. I would like to explain about the fiduciary relationship and ethical informed consent dilemma. So, the doctor-patient relationship is built on the foundation of trust. Cooperation to maintain trust in medical community requires critical things such as confidence and informed consent. It's unethical to endanger trust by failing to provide the true informed consent. In fact, informed consent has several challenges as well, such as language problems, religious influence, false expectation, patient perception, children patients, and vulnerable people. These challenges must be overcome by the doctor to maintain trust so that a good doctor-patient relationship can be built. That's all from me, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Putu Mas Isyundra Kesuma, last digit number 003. Now, me and my friend will explain about the different challenges on handling COVID-19 patients. This COVID-19 pandemic gives numerous challenges in handling COVID-19 patients, especially healthcare workers. The first challenge is, with the massive number of COVID-19 patients, healthcare providers from other departments also take care of COVID-19 patients, although they had few clinical experiences in infectious disease. Because of that, training, education, and improved communications are needed. Secondly, infection among healthcare workers was also a problem during the COVID-19 pandemic. In that way, hospitals need to provide a safe work environment, sufficient protective supplies, and personnel responsible for continuous training, monitoring, and supervision of infection prevention and control. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Adjani Sayidina Pakpahan with the last 3 digit of student number 031. So one of the challenges in handling COVID-19 patients is vaccine skepticism. So vaccine skepticism is one of the most pressing healthcare concerns of our time, as evidenced by the recent experience with COVID-19 immunizations. Some of the current COVID-19 vaccines are now known to be highly successful in preventing severe sickness, hospitalization, and death from the disease. However, the many false conspiracy theories, intentional disinformation, and anxieties floating through the social media and society have significantly weakened its effectiveness, convincing millions worldwide not to obtain a vaccination. Fortunately, there are several practical strategies that doctors and other healthcare professionals can use to effectively communicate with vaccine indecisive individuals, including involving the entire healthcare team in the pro-vaccine message, humbly inquiring into patients' fears, compassionately listening to patients' concern, avoiding hostility or frustration when presented with misinformation or conspiracy theories, and storytelling. For many vaccine indecisive patients, hearing stories from their doctors are stronger than facts and numbers, and as well as engaging the entire healthcare team in providing accurate information. That is all for my explanation. Thank you.
First, let me introduce myself. My name is Danissa Putri Dita with relation digit number 005, and today I will present about Sipakatau communication. Doctors in Makassar City, Indonesia make a strategy of how to talk with patients effectively during COVID-19 pandemic by combining local values that are embraced by the people in Makassar. At Makassar itself, cultural values are still clearly reflected in daily life. One of them are 3 Sipa, which consists of Sipakatau, which means humanity, Sipakaingge, which means reminding each other, and last one are Sipakalebi, which means respect each other. Sipakatau communication is a way of doctor strategy to make the patient feel appreciated and comfortable during doctor visit. Sipakatau communication can be done by calling the patient with their local way of calling each other, so it seems like the doctor position is not higher than them. Dr. Oha, that participated in the research, said that doctor attitude during analysis are the main factor that influence the patient to decide that will they trust and be open to their doctor or not during anamnesis procedure. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, back to me again. My name is Gede Saputra with last digit number 018, and for the time being, me and my friend will guide you on the solutions for all the problems we have been discussing before. Problems regarding conflict consent dilemmas can be classified into 2 main categories. The first one is pressure from external factors. These factors are related to the environment, such as religion, culture, and community perception. This problem has already been discussed in the previous chapter, and its solutions are very limited because as a doctor, we value a patient's preference over medical procedure. If a patient didn't allow such an act, even though not doing so will result in death, a doctor cannot override the request. The second problem is the patient's inability to confirm an informed consent. Patients' inability usually resulted from unconscious situations, mental retardation, under average cognitive capacity, and substance usage. Different from the previous problem, this problem has rather concrete solutions. The main solution for state problem is involving guardians with the priority in order of marriage partner, parents, legal child, legal brother or legal sister, and lastly, will's owner. In the case of the guardian's absence, there are a couple of alternative solutions, which is community approval, informal community consent, and written informed consent from a related officer.
First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Marvella and my last 3-digit number is 007. Today, I'm going to conclude and give suggestions regarding this student project. So first, the fiduciary relationship is a relationship that is formed by the doctor-patient trust and can be earned through good communication. Second, an ethical dilemma no longer talks about what is right or what is wrong, but talks about what is bad or what is good. Misapplication of the fiduciary relationship and its principle that has led to a series of issues, and misconceptions can be challenging. And lastly, sipakara communication can be one of the solutions along with good communication and respect for patients' autonomy. It is highly suggested that medical students should understand the challenges of the doctor-patient fiduciary relationship and the ethical dilemma of informed consent in dealing with COVID-19 patients. Maybe that's all for me, and thank you.